Don in London, hello. It's July 2nd, 2009. My video is all about recovery from either addiction to substance or behaviour, or addiction to substance and behaviour. And if you can imagine a substance which you like a lot, and then it gets out of hand, and then binging starts, and then an inability to stop doing that behaviour or stop utilising that substance to take the edge off life, or to make us feel better, and it's, well, what I might call an external fix, rather than looking inside me and seeing why am I an alcoholic in recovery, and why did it take so long to get there. All the why questions about history, and the gift really is to understand where our history took us. And for me, it took me to a place where I said to myself, I cannot do this on my own anymore. I don't know how to give up. My self-will is letting me down. My willpower doesn't seem to work. And I'm stuck in a rut, drinking 24/7. And that was, it was horrible. I didn't know how bad it would get. Intensive care, priest coming to give me the last rites, and still very egocentric, to the point where I told him where to go, the priest, that is, and in no uncertain terms. And he said, well, don't be so fussy. And you know, sometimes it's a funny joke in the fellowship which I attend, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, because we're full of stories which we can regale each other with about what we used to do when we were drinkers. And you know, for some people it's only a few hours from the last drink, or for some other people a year or two, and for some people decades. But I think we all come to agree on one thing: the only way to attempt to be in recovery, to be in, not recovered, but in recovery, we can say we were recovered yesterday because we didn't drink, or do a substance or a behaviour which could be classified as addictive. And we can only look at one day, just now, just the here and now, where we're in touch with reality, hopefully, without taking the edge off, and being able to see life on life's terms, which means we are included, a part of, and not separate, self-driven, tormented, and probably demented as well. So what is it about recovery which keeps me going? Well, certainly a fellowship helps me, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, and also family and community and friends I am learning to cherish, rather than to have as utilities to try and make things look right. And I spent many years trying to look right, and behind the facade there was not much going on other than fear and drink and putting on a brave face, and a lot of ego which said I need to be perfect, and I was never perfect. And the gift these days, I am imperfectly perfect, that is, I am making progress, and will never achieve something called perfection. So the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, helps me on a daily basis, and at every meeting the preamble is shared, and I share it here just so it slows me down into one moment, this one I have right now. So the preamble, shared at every meeting, goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So that last bit is about help others to achieve sobriety as well, and it's just for one day. And once we start to get the choices back, you know, how we prefer to be, then we can become teachable again, I guess. Alcohol tends to make us isolated, excluded, not fun to be with. There is no such thing really as an alcoholic who is entertaining every single day of their lives, simply because most often we alcoholics were putting on an act, and behind the act, well, we didn't really know who we were or what we could be. We were maybe seeking approval of others. So I'm glad to be in a fellowship which allows me to just find out who I am on a daily basis, and it's an ongoing exercise. And what helps me are 12 steps of action. That's a 12-step program. It's a living experience to do them, not a book learning experience to do them. And I was explaining that to a newcomer yesterday who has picked up lots of ideas from other people about what they think about the steps. And some people fear attitude and behavioural change, because it means we have to change. We have to change to stay alive and be a part of and included, so we can be loved and we can love other people and have something useful to do. That's the great gift, just one day at a time. And we can't solve everything in one day. So the gift is, if we stick with sobriety, life gets more interesting, and we're included and a part of, and not separated. So drinking is not my cup of tea anymore. Anyway, the 12 steps of AA, which are about changing our attitude and behaviour. What helps me is a bit of book learning, yes, but actually then putting them into practice. So I have at my disposal the 12 steps and 12 traditions of AA. So the 12 steps are about open, honest and willing, that's personal stuff. And then the traditions is about recovery, unity and service. That is giving something back and holding the fellowship together. And those two things together provide a fellowship and a programme of action. So the programme of action, 12 steps, there's 12 months in the year. We've got a handy little book called The Daily Reflections, which I use here on YouTube, and we're now into July, which is step 7. And step 7 just reads very shortly. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. And shortcomings for me, not enough, faith, courage and confidence. But if I refer back to this book just very quickly, it talks about step 7 as a summary. And it says, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. What is humility? What can it mean to us? The avenue to true freedom of the spirit. Necessary aid to survival. Value of ego puncturing. Failure and misery transformed by humility. Strength from weakness. Pain is the admission price of a new life. Self-centered fear, chief activator of defects. Step 7 is change in attitude, which permits us to move out of ourselves towards good conscience or God, as you may understand him. And a great chair last night, which was given by a confirmed atheist, somebody who doesn't believe in God. But they said very clearly that having a higher power, like the fellowship, or a set of ideals which come from good conscience, that higher power, if we refer back to it and meditate and reflect and maybe pray from time to time, we clear our mind to be connected to right now. So step 7 for me is all about courage, faith and confidence, and believing in good conscience and God as I understand him, she or it. And you don't have to take up my outlook, thank God. Everybody has a unique, authentic outlook, and that's the way it is. So in the daily reflections today, for July 2nd, we're having scorching weather here, by the way, which is absolutely wonderful, but it plays havoc with my diabetes control. Don't know why, but it does. Anyway, July 2nd, the heart of true sobriety. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the programme. Willingness, honesty and open-mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. We can't do without them. And that's about step 7 to an extent. Am I honest enough to accept myself as I am and let this be the me that I let others see? Do I have the willingness to go to any length to do whatever is necessary to stay sober? Do I have the open-mindedness to hear what I have to hear, to think what I have to think, and to feel what I have to feel? If my answer to these questions is yes, I know enough about the spirituality of the programme to stay sober. That's in the day of just now. Spiritual is seeing reality as it is. With others and with God as I understand him. So on any given day, depending on circumstances, we can all believe in God or be agnostic or atheist. We go by our life experience. And for me, my life experience tells me that it's better to have a higher power with good conscience and a connection to a spiritual way of life, one day at a time. So step 7, courage, faith and confidence, is the antidote or part of the antidote to step 6, the one before it, which is to find out what the defects were, fear, putting on a brave face, and ego for me. And I'll talk more about the 7 deadly sins and the 7 virtues tomorrow. I've run out of time. So, as I always end with these videos, the serenity prayer to the God of your understanding, or your good conscience, or whatever your higher power is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change today, courage to change the things I can change today, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today.